tear my heart out not to be able to be there with some of the greatest people in the world, our veterans. And not only our veterans, but some of these guys are triple amputees. They served our country, and yet they're out there charging forward, bettering their lives, bettering the lives of all these other gentlemen, veterans that are also amputees, whether it be single, double, triple. It's absolutely astounding. But kudos to the guys and gals that are out there in Oklahoma right now that are taking place and raising funds for a tremendous cause, the Chris Cobb Memorial Benefit and Auction. So with that being said, Dave, it's time to go racing, man.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like our young drivers are starting to pull out. We're going to kick off. We only got a couple of them right now. We've got the Youth 1000 UTVs. But let's take a look at this right now. Current temperature here at the famous Glen Helen.
I call bull crap on that.
A brisk 90 degrees. And I have to break my jacket out if it drops below 90 here. But right in San Bernardino, California, nestled in the foothills in the San Bernardino Mountains here. So it's a great facility, a lot of history going back to off-road. But motocross is what really put this one on the map right here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we talked about this earlier, where just if there's aliens looking down on this property from afar, and somebody kicked an anthill, we're the ants, because there's motocross going on over behind us up in that world-famous motocross track. We got off-road going on the other side of the facility. There's just people milling around everywhere. It's such a cool thing to see. Every once in a while, you turn around and look back behind you, and I don't know how tall that peak is where they climb the
Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens. I don't know how tall that is, but boy, oh boy, we're fairly high up as it is, but we're looking way up on the top of the mountain where the motocrossers are going. In fact, we raced off-road there back in 97, 98, I think it was.
Yep.
I remember watching Kurt Leduc go to the very top of that peak where the motocross track is and rolled it down the hill.
Oh, my goodness. That's a long one. Because I've ridden that on motorcycles many times, and I can tell you that is a large elevation change. And if you go down, you're going to go down. Gravity helps you.
Oh, it's all gravity. You know, the scenery here is fantastic. And you look off would be to the, I want to say that's the southwest. I'm sorry, southeast, that direction. My GPS compass is all jacked up. We got mountains to the left of us in the race course, mountains to the immediate mountains to the right. Then we got a federal prison about a quarter mile down the road, alongside, across the road from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Test Facility.
And their pursuit training,
yeah. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this area.
Fire academies here also. You know, all kinds of cool stuff here. Great stuff, but some great stuff going on. A couple of our youth drivers out there right now in the Youth 1000 class. It looks like, I do believe, George Lamosas in the 88 and Dominic Benitez, he'll be in the number 11 car and add to it. So this track is about a mile long, and it was built in 2009 here during the Lucas Oil Auto Racing Series.
Initial year.
So a lot of changes, but the output battery's green, flag waves, and we're green.
Into turn one, we only have two cars on the track, but what's astounding about this, first off, I want to call a couple of friends. Adam Grinder from Phoenix checked in once again, and Ben Wandesega from all the way up there in Bark River, Michigan, is tuned in and watching. So good to see both you guys, especially Ben. It's nice to know you're out there and still tuned in to Short Course Off-Road. His family's still involved in it. He's not behind the wheel, but he's got his kids involved in it, which is pretty cool.
That's so awesome. I just love to hear when a next generation takes over and they keep that legacy going here.
And now as we turn back to the track, we got the Youth 1000 UTVs, and we talk about the Junior 1 karts, the Junior 2s, the mod karts. But then you take that same age bracket, basically, and put them in 1,000cc side-by-side. These aren't side-by-sides, but single-seaters. And the speeds that these kids are driving is scary.
Yeah, I mean, these are stock production, basically 1,000. There's nothing done to them. They're nothing fancy. They're stock. Not far off with the production 1,000. Like you said, though, these are the RS1s, which is the only category we see with the single-seaters. They don't make that in the turbo model yet. I've just seen it now. Polaris the only one making it. A lot of people are it's the guy that's selfish that wants to buy the UTV. Well, no, it's a purposely built race car.
Yeah.
Right out of the box.
Modern day version of the Odyssey from way back in...
So true.
Mickey Thompson days.
Oh, I remember those. Those were definitely
It's
hot.
funny you brought up Pace Motorsports a little bit ago.
Trailer's still over there.
Is it
Yep.
trailer still over there? Wow.
Still over out there, just next to the Vets track there. I see it every time. It kind of brings memory. I mean, coming out here with my uncle and watching it when we were doing some motocross, and I started seeing the off-road trucks, and I was just taken back to see what those things are doing. And of course, like you said, modern technology has changed the game immensely. This is a Honda Odyssey or Pilot on steroids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. With a crazy suspension that just seems to work right off the showroom floor.
And the crazy thing is I'm seeing guys now race these in Baja. Dave Cole and a couple of guys I saw him racing the RS1s, which is just insane because you don't have a co-driver. You do it by yourself.
That does not impress me. Let me hear me out on this one. That does not impress me because I saw two guys that ran, was it Baja, the 250?
Yeah.
On Vespas. Two Vespas. No, was it Nora? Nora 1000.
Yeah, that wasn't the San Felipe.
No.
Vespa wouldn't have made it through San Felipe 250. I see you.
When I saw these things, and it took like
Nora's a rally.
The video started with them way the hell out there in the distance. It took like 3 months for them to get into the camera view, and there they go by. And then there was like 2 months before they got out of the camera view.
Oh, that'd be a sight to be seen for sure. Well, George Lemos is out now, out front, just walking away from this one right there. Benitez right behind him in the number 11.
Lemos has got that flag waving like he always does, huh? Yeah.
Pretty good at throwing our voices.
It's funny how you sound like me and I sound like you.
It's kind of crazy. How do you fit in that little speaker? So Lemoses and Benitez continue to battle here as they come out of turn number 1 into 2. Lemoses got a little bit of a gap there. We'll see if Benitez can catch up to him, Scott.
Going just fast as I think he needs to. Now, how old are these kids?
Well, we race karts too, so
15 or under?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
This one.
My point being that what were you doing? You were 15, 14.
Racing go-karts. Or no, I was racing cars and motorcycles. At 16, I was racing an RS car.
I was running a dirt track late model at 17, but I wasn't going nearly this fast.
No.
I thought I was, but I was nowhere near it. No.
We used to hit about 160 in the RS cars. Did a lot of lap turning on go-karts at Adams Go-Kart track, which, he's become a big coach, of course, in off-road. Troy Adams.
So that was competition yelled real quick how two cars can complete first half of a race, but
especially with no cautions.
Yeah.
Did I just jinx this?
Well, this is a comp yellow.
I see Eric Meeks down there trying to
is he really?
more shots. Yeah,
I didn't know he was here.
Yeah, he's a great veteran.
Yeah.
Speaking of veterans there, U.S. Marine Corps, URA.
He became involved, I think, at his last Mid 400
Warfighter
Maid and had an unbelievable time.
I was stoked for him to do that.
Yeah, you could just tell after the race was done and he was hanging out with all the guys. And, you think you know somebody, but then when you see him in that kind of scenario, you know you never knew him at all because he was in his element. He was with his guys. He was with his brothers.
People. Yep.
And, man, I love seeing that kind of stuff. I just love it. So we're going back to green this time by the race vehicle. Now, is that Gary out there driving? Is it Gary?
Good old Gary Lane, another legend.
You guys still trust him behind the wheel, huh?
79
yeah,
years
did he win the championship in the flat track again this year?
Yes, he did. Yeah, it's 70 and over. He won the 60 and over, too. He beat all the youngsters in the 60.
Yeah, and he's afraid they're going to have to make the move up another class.
You're going to start racing with the 50-year-olds now. He is one fast dude.
I finally got my picture of action pictured autograph from him.
Really?
Finally. It's only taken like 20 years.
That's very cool.
He's in full send, pitch sideways, foot down. I'm like, that's cool.
Well, now I want one.
Oh.
I'll have to wait 20 years, right? He'll be 109.
79 years old. He wins 2
Or
championships.
99, sorry.
So a little bit of action going on here, side by side to that hairpin turn.
Benitez looked to the inside, trying to hold on to it.
I think Lee threw a bonus out there to him. They touch tires. Oh, stays it.
Nice. Beautiful move.
Little Joey Chitwood going on right there.
So Benitez now in control of this race. George Lamosas led the entire first half of the race. Now it is Dominic Benitez's turn.
Boy, I've been around so many promoters that in situations like this, they've said, okay, guys, I want to see 2 passes per lap. I don't care who's doing what. I want to see 2 passes per lap. On the last lap, I don't care what happens. Doesn't matter.
Gloves are off.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the best races I ever saw was out in your old neck of the woods, out in Lake Havasu.
Yep.
At the racetrack there
with 95.
with Carl Renazetter, Kurt Leduc, and Tommy Bradley. There's no way they should have been in the same race, but they were. Man, they were passing each other like crazy, and it was so fun to watch.
That was when you were working for Jim Russell.
Yeah.
Yep. Good old JVR.
Still no white flag, I'm telling you.
Benitez, man, he is in the same position now as Lamosas was in the first half of the race, that same gap or interval. Just amazed when George got it up on the bike there, able to recover it. These young kids have such mad skills.
Well, that being said, I'm wondering if there's some sort of damage to the right front, which has helped causing the steering to have an issue.
You know what? That could be good. They did have a little contact. Didn't even think about that.
So he might be wrestling an ill-handling car right now. Doesn't look like the wheels are pointed in opposite directions, but they don't really have to make it hard to turn. And white flag is out. Here we go. One more time around. Yeah, Lamosas looks like every time he hits the jump, it's kicking him to one side or the other.
So it could have been a little damage here in the front end. You're right.
It's a possibility, but still,
you'll never know.
Take nothing away from our leader, though. He definitely appears to be quicker in the second half than he was in the first.
Great aerial shot from our I Believe cam with the Hammer Time Productions crew catching all the live coverage here. Don't remember to get out there and share this live stream for all the folks. Got lots of classes throughout the day, racing, 13 races, something like that. Have to look at our notes here.
Final turn coming around. Down the front straightaway, and a pretty fun race to watch as they cross the line. It's going to be George Lamosas. I'm sorry.
Dominic Benitez.
Yeah, Dominic Benitez will take the win. George Lamosas will come around in second. Coming up next will be the Accredited Labs Razor 170s. Well, David, you get ready to bring the two drivers up to the podium. I can't help but think there's one thing that we both know for sure, that these two drivers cannot wait to get out of those fire suits.
Absolutely. It's going to be it's a little toasty in there. It's not like they got air conditioning. Well, definitely a great race. First win I did for Dominic Benitez on that one, so it's definitely going to change it up for him. Talk about a boost of confidence for sure. So we'll get him up here and talk to him about it. And look, they're giving me chocolate milk already. Man, I'm the winner. I'm going home. Got that DM chocolate milk. All right, let's get the boys up here. All right. Good. Nice one. Well, here they are. Let's give it up for George Lamosis in second. Dominic Benitez up on the top of the box. So I'm going to move it on over here and talk to George. And George, I know first half of the race, you had a good gap on him. And then the restart, guys kind of were side by side. You were battling, and boy, you got the bicycle out.
Yeah, no, he gave me a little. I didn't expect that move from the inside, but it was a great move. I went on two wheels for a moment. I saved the car from flipping over, and then from there he was able to take the lead and take it to checkers.
Well, it's definitely when you're able to put it back down on the floor, with the rubber side down. That's a good feeling because when you end up side down, you have no chance.
Yeah, that would have been it if I flipped it. But yeah, it was a good battle with him.
Well, you got a lot of great people behind you to make this all possible.
Oh yeah, I do. It's of course my mom and dad and my two little brothers. Godstown Performance, Walker Evans, PEP Performance Tuning, Polaris Razor, SDI, Jmar Performance, Summer Brothers, PCI, Piston Bones, Corona Motorsports, Gates, Trophy Borough, and to any other sponsors that I didn't thank you.
Give it up to this young man right there, George Lamosis, everybody in second place, and going to move on to this young man. He finally got this win off your belt there, Dominic Benitez. Not only that, you got the win, you got a $100 gift card there, and that's going to make it all that in Haim. Dude, the first half of the race, you were lagging back there. On the restart, toe-to-toe, talk about it.
At the first start, he started getting away, and I'm like, I'm just going to relax, try and save the car until the second half came. I tried shoving it in, he went up, I almost went up, and we both saved it, and then we took it to the next corner, and I was able to squeeze on through.
So it definitely felt good getting that lead out there, especially, it could have been a little bit disastrous, but you had that inside line. You weren't going to back off.
And the corners are starting to get ruddy, too, so it got a little sketchy coming to the end.
Well, congratulations getting that Youth 1000 win there, and I know you got some people to thank for it.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my grandparents, my cousin, my sister, the Gammas, Nick Cole, E Street, Great America, Lee, Davis Motorsports, my dad. I already said my dad, but he gets a second one.
I say Dad deserves two on that one for getting it ready. Let's give it for Dominic Benitez, everybody. Once again, George Lamosis in a second. Dominic Benitez taking the big win here today. Scott, you're out of your box. You're back up there. Let's move it on to race number 2.
Hell, you're just a funny man.
I didn't put you in a box today.
People are going to start to wonder what that whole is all about. I'm not going to go there. You can if you want, Dave, but we're going to get ready for the next race, which is the Accredited Labs Razor 170s. 14 cars involved. And as they work their way onto the track, you can see that there's a little bit of prep going on just yet. Won't be long, we'll be bringing them out. But here's our lineup as they come out of staging. Front row will be Aiden Aguilar in the 104 alongside of Rick